Okay, we're at the end. We've done all the analysis. You've endured more than an hour of 3 parts of a preview. We've tried to cover all the details, and now we're ready to make our call. I'm going to give you my final thoughts, and I'm going to give you my prediction. Kia ora, everyone. My name's Zach. I love rugby. Welcome back to Hakatime Rugby. Now, just before we start, guys, I want to say a big thank you for sitting through the series. I know it's been more than an hour long, but I've really tried to do this justice, given the magnitude of the game, given how excited I am for the game as well, for the final outcome. I really wanted to do this analysis justice and give you all of my thoughts all along the way, work through the process and present it to you. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've got some value out of it along the way. The second point I'm going to say is after this video is released, I'm going to take a couple of days rest from YouTube. I won't be dropping any more videos. What I really want to do is just take in the last couple of days. My All Blacks play on Friday, and I get to see Kieran Reid and Steve Hansen in their last games, and I want to be there to support them. And not only that, but I just want to enjoy the moment, right? So then we've got a final. I've got friends coming over. We'll be having beers. We'll be having a barbecue, and we'll be enjoying that game. So my plan those 2 days is really just to take it all in. This has been an absolutely fantastic tournament. Japan as hosts have been incredible. The action has been great, and now we culminate in the final. So I really want to spend that time just to enjoy the moment before it's all done. Now, let's get to the final thoughts, and let's get to the prediction. So on the final thoughts, the first thing I want to talk about is preparation, guys. And I know there's been a lot of discussion. Will they be well prepared? Have they played their final early? I believe preparation is going to be a concern for England. I really do. I think the All Blacks game was a once-in-a-generation game for England. That's been reiterated by all English legendary players like Martin Johnson. They've never seen that performance ever produced from an English team. So can they get up and do that performance again in the final? I think the answer is no. And couple that with injury concerns within the squad. Couple that with real focus has been given to the All Blacks in terms of beating them in order to cement your place as number one. It just feels like some of those concerns may impact England. All that means is not that they will fail and drop their heads and lose the game. All I'm saying is that they will not be at the level that they performed against the All Blacks. I think that's going to be pretty clear. That's my thoughts anyway on the preparation discussion. On the game strategy discussion, what I want to say is this, and it's back to this conversation about Eddie Jones. Eddie Jones devised a strategy to beat the All Blacks and be number one in the world. When you hear him speak about it, what he's saying is, I devised a strategy to be number one, that this English team can be number one in the world. And in large part, that focus has been on the All Blacks. Believe it or not, like it or not, but that's my view, is that he has put a lot of focus into the All Blacks. So Eddie Jones has devised a strategy to be number one in the world. But my view, and this is praise for Rassie Erasmus, who probably doesn't often get a lot of praise outside of South Africa for his strategic work. But Rassie Erasmus has designed a strategy to win a Rugby World Cup. That's my view. When I look at these two teams, and when I look at the history of Rugby World Cups and what it takes to win a Rugby World Cup, I truly believe the strategy that Rassie Erasmus is implementing is a Rugby World Cup winning strategy. Now, can they execute well enough in order to capitalize on that strategic advantage? If it is an atrocious game, if it's a very, very close game, can the players execute? And that's really the key question here. So let's talk a little bit about the platform, okay? I expect lineouts, scrums, and mauls to be dominated by South Africa. I do think from a lineout perspective, we've seen how good they are. I constantly get reminded that they've only lost one this World Cup. And their variety in the lineout, they're excellent. They're excellent. So that's going to be a huge platform, a huge attacking weapon for the Springboks. I really believe that. Can they win the breakdown? Now, can England win the breakdown? Sorry. I do believe that Curry and Underhill can be very, very impactful in the breakdown. And I think they will be early. I'm expecting England will start very, very fast. And they may even put a few points on early. I just think their ability, what I've seen from them so far, is that from the very first minute, they are ready to go. And they will run, and I expect they will put points on. I'm concerned that if they start to get out to too much of a lead, I don't think South Africa can pull them in. I don't think South Africa can chase a lead of 10 points plus. So if England gets away to a fast start and they put on a lot of points, that could be a real concern for the Springboks. Okay, let's look at, we've spoken about the platform, let's talk about attack. Now, we said that from an attacking perspective, England had the advantage, and also from a defensive perspective in the backline anyway, England had the advantage. Now, I believe that attack gets neutralised to a degree in a Rugby World Cup final. And by neutralised, I mean players get an extra effort, right? It's a final, you're so motivated, you just get that little bit of extra effort. So you run a bit harder, you tackle a little bit harder, you put a little bit more effort in, and you're able to stop breaks that players might make in ordinary games. In these games, they won't make. And not only that, the scramble is a lot harder and a lot faster. So I think the attacking advantages that some of these teams may have, a guy like Cheslin Kolbe, for example, I don't expect him to run out and start running away with tries. What I expect him to do is maybe beat the first tackle, maybe beat the second tackle, and then probably get eaten up from there. So at least you've created front foot ball. I expect the same from Manu Tuilagi. I think he's going to have a game running down those channels. Him and Gatland having that battle there will be very, very interesting, right? But I do think ultimately, based on those points, and with reference to rain, if that comes as well, I think attacks are going to be subdued to a degree. And I think actually the winning of the game is going to come down to territory and the ability to score points. So now let's talk about that. Let's talk about tactical kicking. So the line out, which I expect South Africa will be able to hold their own and possibly disrupt, right? It takes away a key weapon of tactical kicking from George Ford. Now, he is going to target either the player, either space, or touch. Now, if you're kicking for touch and you're up against a line-out that is very, very accurate, that is working, functioning well, and you're unable to get any disruption, you really can't press your advantage. Then it becomes a case of a maul and a kick for touch. So I think it almost neutralises that option for George Ford. I actually think what's going to happen is George Ford is going to target Willie le Roux. And that's why I said Willie le Roux is so crucial to a victory for South Africa. He's very, very important. If he has a good game, they go a long way to winning. If he has a bad game, it's tough work from there, right? But Cheslin Kolbe being there helps a lot. Cheslin Kolbe is incredibly quick. His read of the game in terms of kicking defense is very, very good, and his work under the high ball is very, very good. So I do think that helps from that perspective. But believe me, the kicks are going to come, and they're going to come towards Willie. So he better be on his A game. Faf de Klerk is another one, right? As I said, there's two key guys that I'm looking for their performances in this one. It's Faf and it's Willie. From Faf's perspective, it's effective box kicking. We've seen mixed results, right? But what was heartening to see was that he's been given rein to do a bit more creative kicking. The kicks down the sideline, great work. There was space in the back there. He targeted it really, really good. So that's been fantastic. And I do think he's going to have a good game here and help to build a territory advantage in one way or another. The other thing I'd like to see from Faf is a little bit of niggle, right? When he's starting to get under players' skins, I think he can disrupt the flow of things to a degree. So that's going to be interesting. Owen Farrell is going to have an impact on this game as well. Defensively, he is fantastic. And I think he's really going to target Gatland and that centre pairing in terms of attack. The only thing that I can see happening here, again, the effectiveness of attacks seem to be reduced in the final. So his defensive work, though, will be very, very important. I can't see the Springboks breaking England from that respect as well. And same points on that one. So we've covered tactical kicking. The only other thing is going to be goal kicking. Let's talk about the ability to accumulate points. Now, Andre Pollard versus, when you look at Farrell and obviously George Ford, I think all of those guys are going to be very, very accurate. So there's enough evidence there to suggest that they will be able to take their kicks and they will be able to be accurate. So it's going to come down to those chances that are created. And a lot of chances can be created with either the front foot ball built from the platform, which I expect the Springboks to dominate, or from good tactical kicking advantages, which I expect George Ford to really come with. So there's benefits both ways there that teams can capitalise and score points, and I believe they will do exactly that. So that's how I see the game playing out, guys. I think ultimately England is going to make a fast start in this game. And the real question is going to be, are they going to be able to score enough points that they can start to press forward and have a winning insurmountable lead? That's going to be the question. On the other side of the coin, can the Springboks stay tough with them, stay close, keep it close, or even take an advantage with a lead when they are pressing an advantage? What we've seen before is that they have failed to do so in some of their games, and that's got to be a real concern. When you're getting dominance, you need to convert into points. That is going to be a concern. Anything else? Maro Itoje is going to have a huge game. He's an athletic guy. Courtney Laws is going to have a huge game. He's an athletic guy. I must admit, I've been a little bit I haven't been that impressed with Billy Vunipola. He certainly hasn't performed to his potential, to his skill sets that we've seen before. I don't expect that to change here. Kyle Sinclair, Mr. Soft Hands, I think he will have a good game, but again, attacks get neutralised. I think other guys, Manu Tuilangi, he will have a good game. Johnny May is probably a key cog in that English squad. Obviously, under the high ball, he's very good. He's a big target as well if they want to look for that crossfield kick. But I just on the balance of things, I just can't see the attacking play being the primary winner of this game. It's going to be the platform that is set. And then it's going to be the ability to press the advantage with the kicks. That's really the winning of this game. So, let's make a prediction. I think it's time, given all of those thoughts, to make my final prediction. See you guys.